Pete, it's round to the British and Irish Cup this weekend. We're playing Bristol Rugby at Richmond Athletic Ground, Saturday 3 p.m. kick-off. We've lost the last 7 encounters against Bristol Rugby. What fuels your belief we can turn that around this weekend?
Well, it's a tough record, isn't it? Bristol are a quality team. We found out there a few weeks ago down in Ashton Gate that they're a quality team, but we are unbeaten here at home this year in the league, and we'll hope to continue that record. I think the home advantage has been really good to us, and we put out a really strong team, hoping to change that horrible run that you spoke about.
When we talked after that match, you talked about the physicality was lacking in the first half. Is that something you've been working on in training this week?
Well, physicality is not necessarily something you can train. It's I think a mindset coming into the game, and perhaps it was evident that Bristol were hungrier perhaps than us on that occasion, coupled with the fact they've got some huge men in their forward pack. So it's certainly something we've certainly bulked up in the forwards for this fixture on Saturday. So games are always won and lost up front, and if you've got to gain parity or dominance up there, and for most of the games this year where we've been successful, we've had that dominance up front, and of course against Bristol perhaps we didn't, and that's why we had the result.
You've mentioned we've made some changes. Mark Bright comes back in. James Phillips moves to the second row. We've got Adam Kwasniewski. Stuart Maguire is a big lad in the front row. So Jerry Maguire, Stuart Maguire. So we've made changes with that in mind, I guess. Yeah,
absolutely. It's important. We rested some people. Some personnel last week down at Pontypridd. We can't leave people rested for too long because we get rusty, so an opportunity to put out a very strong team here and maintain our home form and momentum. It's important that we try and get a result against Bristol. Whether we do or not you can ask me at 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, but it's important that we psychologically match up to Bristol and try and change that run of events, because perhaps we might face them in more crucial games throughout the season, and to have the belief that we've beaten them is very important. So we'll be looked to put that right on Saturday.
Interesting selection in midfield. PJ Gidlow's back, and he's going to partner the in-form Conor Braid in the centres.
Well, Connor's been scoring lots of tries. Went over for one right at the death last week to get us a bonus point in Pontypridd, and I think probably kept us alive in the group. And PJ's been really good for us throughout the year. Defying his age. I think he's about 40, but defying his age and been playing really well. So great to have him back in the midfield, and excited to see his combination with Connor. Connor's scored a couple against Plymouth as well. So some try-scoring ability in the midfield. Lee Miller went outstandingly well against Plymouth, but we're excited to see Connor there and see how we get on. I don't know what the weather's going to be doing Saturday, but if it's dry enough, excited to see them get the ball.
Absolutely, because both sides have scoring tries for fun this season. Both teams are nearly touching 30 tries this season, so can we expect more of the same?
Well, the weather's been kind to us, hasn't it? I think, the last game against Plymouth we racked up 10, and it was a beautiful day here in Richmond. On a wet day, it's not going to be possible to score that many, so hopefully if the weather's good, I think the same for Bristol. We've been very lucky with the long summer we've had, and it's allowed us to play rugby and score tries. I think Mark Bright has scored half of those 30 that we've scored, so it's not just a case of throwing the ball around. We've scored a number of tries from our tight phases and our driving games, so it's important to have threats across the pitch in try scoring. I think we've got a decent balance of that at the moment, and it'll keep Bristol guessing as to where the threat comes from us, so we've certainly got to have both.
James Buckland was very pleased with how the academy lads played last week against Ponty. Charlie Dockery gets another chance in the wing this weekend.
Yeah, they were all really went well. A couple of the back row guys, Freddie Clark and Alex Brown, were incredibly impressive, in such difficult positions in the forwards, but Charlie went really well on the wing, so he's going to swap wings this week and have another go against Bristol. And there were some quality wingers down in Ponty. There's going to be some quality wingers playing for Bristol, irrespective of who plays. They've got quality throughout their squad, so a big challenge for him, but he's been very impressive for us since he's been with us, and I'm interested to see how he goes again.
Just finally, a Championship 15 are playing Canada next month up at Worcester. We've got Mark Bright and Miles Montella in the squad, and also James Phillips is in the squad. That must be pleasing for the club.
Really pleasing, to see us well represented. I think Mark Bright was an automatic selection. He's been on absolute fire. I think even before I arrived, for 5 or 6 years before this season, and he's been in stellar form. So not surprised at all to see him in there. And obviously Miles was the top try scorer in the league last year, so rightly takes his place in that squad. I think it'd be great to see them play against an international team. That's an English Championship team going up against Canada, and they'll have a fair crack at it. Canada are a great team, and James Phillips in there as well. Pleased to see him, and interested. Hopefully they all come back with no injuries, because we've got a big game the following week up at Moseley. So glad to see them play, but as long as they come back on Monday fit, I'll be happy.
Absolutely. Good luck with this weekend.
Thank you.